Okay, guys. I want to update on my videos about exotic program and exotic technologies. So there's still a lot that I don't know, I haven't seen or experienced, or I can't think in my mind right now. But I'm gonna finish up to everything what I know and what I wrote down here. Okay, guys. Now we got invisible mirrors. Aliens call the blanket. They could take form of a human, object, materials, planetary buildings, but most of the time they will be like a very flat screen, invisible screen. They can fly through matters, anything, and CGIs and makes you see things that is not real, but they look realistic. Okay, mostly they cloak our sky. There's UFO parked everywhere in our sky here in Fresno. They either hide in those clouds where the bottom cloud looks flat, or they hide inside the cloud and the clouds are outside, or they're like right there up there, they're invisible cloaking and they got the invisible mirror beneath it, so it camouflage. So that's why you guys can't see UFO. But if you pay attention at night, you will see a UFO flying every night in our sky. A light speed or slow, or at sonic boom, like Mach 3, Mach 4 or 5. Okay, so that you guys know, we got knockout program where they can knock you out. They can just knock you out. I know that because they did that to me. They can paralyze me. You know, and we got 0 point energy, which is the UFO engine, and the 0 point energy use phonon, sound wave, anti-gravity. That's how they can zip-zap, maneuver, so that you guys know how UFO works, okay? Now this one's very important, so you guys better hear me right. We have a program called After Image or Before Image. When somebody loads this program, our traffic is getting very busy and lousy right here. When somebody used the After Image program or Before Image program, and what it does is it changed the story of the original story. It's like a replay. After Image are like something that happens in the past. It could be real or it could be made up. Before Image program, it could be something that it hasn't happened yet in the future. It could be real or it could be made up. And when somebody wants to change the story of an event, okay, or on somebody or something, and they will load this program into the Matrix registry downtown on DeRisadero and Tulare, or Kings Canyon 6th Street right there. They will load into that grid, and it will play the past or the future to something in the present, okay? Or something that is already has happened, and they're gonna do a replay. When that happens, it changed the story. For example, I was walking down the street past somebody, and if somebody wants to frame me or incriminate me, they would use the After Image program or the Before Image program. Then it will change the story, and it will make me look like I went and robbed or raped somebody or killed somebody or beat up somebody or stole something from somebody. And it's going to be real. It's going to register real. It could be on camera, on documents, videos, audios. It could be on pictures. It could be on somebody's memory. And the shit's going to be real. Now, game over for me. Now everything becomes real. And I can't prove it. And then I'm going to have to go to jail for it. And get in trouble for something I never done or I don't even know about. That's how they frame me. They charged me with sexual assault, rape 15 female, and break into 15 house in one night. and within the half an hour. Really? Where's the freaking evidence at? You know, where's the witness at? Where's the cops at? See, somebody could do that and ruin your life. And everything's going to look real and register real. And it's going to be game over for you. This is how dangerous the Matrix is, okay? If you watch the movie The Matrix, where Morpheus, they load programs into Neo and Morpheus into that little scene where Mr. Anderson and the girl in the red dress, you know, they can load program like that. And everything will be real. It looks real. This is why it's so dangerous. And when they load the program, it registers into the Matrix registry. Or if somebody changed the program in the Matrix registry and then change the story or events, and everything's going to be real and you're going to get effed up and game over for you. This is how dangerous the Matrix is. Okay, guys? So hopefully I clarify on the after image program and before image program to something that was not original simulate or happen, okay? And then everything's going to be real. Okay? So if something happened, you have to verify as much as possible as source. And if something is real, more likely that person is going to do again. So but then the J. Roberts comes into play, the Mandela effect, or the double slit experiment comes into play. When you observe something or investigate something, then the behavior change, the particle change, and it's going to give you a false story. See, that's why you can't investigate. You can't look into anything. You can't observe anything. Because you start paying attention, it's going to feed you false information. And then you're going to hurt innocent people. And everything's going to be real. You know, that's how dangerous the Matrix is. That's why it's called a Matrix. You can never know the truth. Every time you know the truth, the story changes. You know? So who cares? You know? Well, at least I don't. Well, I kind of do. Okay, where am I at? Okay, we got phonons, which is, you know, the 0-point energy anti-gravity. They're called phonon, okay, anti-gravity. That's what UFO used on the engine to zigzag. Are we talking about the Matrix registry? Now, this is scary. I see the 2D bus, Fresno Fax bus on Kings Canyon and Van Ness. It creeped me out. You know, I see 3D animation where people transform into Superman. And they look very bright, like 3D animation, like in the movie. And I see people with 4D or object like 4Ds. And they're not 3Ds. You know, just like video games. And they're alive. You know, HAARP, HAARP in Alaska. And they got one somewhere in Ozark Mountain. This HAARP program, which they manipulate weather. Or they could GPS somebody. They create lightning. Mother Nature's. Okay, they're like antenna, and then they're built like a spider web. Somewhere in the mountain in Alaska, and somewhere in the mountain Ozark in Missouri or Arkansas over there. And they can manipulate weather. Okay, geoengineer. They can create tsunami, hurricane, tornadoes, thunder. That's why we have so many tornado and hurricanes. They're all artificial made. They're not natural. The government just want to play with people's lives and kill you guys. So they have a job to do and kill people. You know? I already talked about psychokinesis or telekinesis. Well, we use the cerebral cortex brain chip here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you guys still see the hole with the drill right here. We can use that brain chip here to move stuff if you have access to the program. Okay, we got iron oxides where they will see into the sky to, I don't know, block the sun or block the sky or whatever. Okay. Now, of course, you guys know about Starlinks. Elon Musk Starlink. I saw an interview where Elon Musk said he got 9,000 Starlinks up in low Earth orbit, but he's lying. We got over 90,000 Starlinks. Okay, that is lining up like a spider web, clustering all over in the firmament up there in the sky. Starlink is put up there to simulation, control all the simulation on Earth, to protect Earth from outside threat. There are video surveillance. They could, being down here and watch everybody, and they could go underground. They could see through anything because they use sonar vision, where it shoots sound and it can go through matters, and it will bounce back and give the image like ultrasound. Starlink or direct energy weapons. They can shoot laser, plasma. They could kill anybody, GPS anybody. They could watch anybody. They're just not regular Starlink internet satellite. Okay, they're a freaking weapon and video surveillance to keep you in check. Okay. Mind uploading. We could copy our mind and upload it to anybody, and it will be us. But it's just not the real you. It's the other you. Okay, and it's real. You're real. Okay. We got chip. The cerebral cortex brain chip here, the nanobot chip that clustering all your neuron brainwave, and whoever's controlling could become you. We got like a programmable chip on the skin. I already showed you guys about my foot. This is how I'm able to program stuff. They put a sonar chip right here on my right ear right here. They drove and put a chip right here, so I can intercept, fabricate, or spoof frequency sound wave. But now they deaf me on the right ear, so I don't have access to the chip right here no more. It's called sonar chip. So when they use sonar chip, when they say, I heard last time I was in jail, they say my bunkie, his name is Shoes. When they talk about Shoes, I also heard Z. That I heard two voices overlap. So, just that you guys know, we got very exotic technology, okay? And the chip don't always come in a box, in like a little chip. We got the black box, the Pandora box chip that they put into your pineal gland, your third eye, which it plays for fate and destiny. Okay, just like how a black box in an airplane, if the plane crash, they can retrieve it and know what happened. Okay. Now we also got chip that it's not metal; it's just program codes, and they can put a chip into your atom or your body, somewhere in your skin or in your teeth or your eyes. Okay, this way is very exotic, and you can't detect it unless you have exotic program to detect it and remove it. Okay. We got binding program where you can deactivate a gun or a direct energy weapon or a weapon, and when they try to shoot you, it doesn't work. Just like me, when you guys trying to shoot me with your pistol or your direct energy weapon, it's gonna freeze or it's not gonna work. This is called binding program. Okay, you guys could test me out. You guys could try shooting your UFO, your direct bazooka energy weapon, or your AK-47 or M16. Your gun will not work, and if you're able to shoot me, it's gonna freeze. Okay, when it hit me. So these are called binding program. Okay. So that you know. So everything here in the matrix here is just all frequency and vibration. Okay? Adinkra. Alpha Draco Adinkra. So if you follow me, you know. We could program anything. We could program the grids. We could load data here. We could program any matter, any energy. Oh, the chip. Everything is chip. All the frequency and vibration here in this AGI matrix system is chip. We can chip and we can record and we could GPS all the frequencies. That's how we are able to simulate the whole universe for 14 billion years. Because we can put a program chip into every frequency and vibration. Everybody's chip, everything's chip. That's how we're able to simulate and replay the universe every 14 billion years. And that's how much we can record information on a frequency and vibration, or atom, proton, molecule, particle, quartz. Okay? So that you guys know. We could freeze the whole universe by using a program called Kazuma program. Okay, my secret army, they had that program. We could freeze the whole universe. Everything's chipped. We're getting replay. Everything's GPS. All the frequency and vibration. We know, everything. We know what's gonna happen next. We know where everything's at. Okay. We got program where you could grow as big as the universe. You could become space and time. You could shrink beyond subatomic level forever. We have infinite energy. We have access where we could have infinite orgasm, infinite powers, infinite battery, infinite energy. We don't have to sleep anymore. We could just upload anything into our consciousness and we could learn. We don't need to go to school anymore. We don't need a teacher anymore. We just need a program. So I solve everything in the universe where we can have unlimited, infinite anything. We can make anything rain infinite. We can just delete the whole universe, all the planets, all the stars, every debris and particle in the universe. We could just delete like that and reappear, delete. We can make anything disappear, reappear. We can change anything into anything. We can make up anything. Okay, this is how dangerous technology and programs are, guys. Okay. Now we got this, you guys probably see on videos, we got like those Superman digestion organs where they can eat metal, rocks, glass. They can eat anything. Okay, and they could digest it. Because they have a Superman organ digestion. Okay, there's people that have access to that. Okay, they can eat metals, rock, sand, dirt, anything. Okay. Now we got androids that like the Terminator T-800. We got super fluid, the T-1000. If you watch the movie Terminator, okay, we got people like that. We got post-human. We got clones. So post-human are synthetic people. They look flesh and blood just like us, but they're all synthetic silicone. If you touch them, the androids are Terminator. When you touch them, they don't have body heat. They are very cold. Okay, that's how you can tell you an android. They got like synthetic plastic eyes. They talk and walk like a robot. If you pay attention. Now we got double-edged program. Okay, where you do something and it's gonna backfire. Okay, wherever it is. Now we got the black goo. They look like a little transparency hologram black goo where people could transform into clouds. When you see the clouds that is very dark up in the sky, because that's either a UFO or somebody. Okay, we could transform into clouds in the sky and watch people. Okay, we could transform into a black goo and bond into somebody's skin or shirt or material or plants and tree or building. These are called bonding program, where we could transfer into something and we camouflage, we bond into the walls, paints, anything, okay? But if you have special ultraviolet vision, you can see it. But most of the time, they're going to shrink subatomic level and bond into walls, clothes, material, wherever, and hide in plain sight. I see people where they come out of the tree, they just jump out of the tree, jump out of a little bush, the size of my butt cheeks, and somebody come out right there and it scares the crap out of me, or they flat out somebody or a t-shirt and pop up right there. It creeps me out. That's how exotic. Or a guy, one time I was there by Chestnut and Kings Canyon. The guy was hiding in a barn with the electrical box, and he was watching me. And he could just jump out of the electric box, but he transferred into plasmoid-based life form, like those Men in Black shadow hologram. He bombed into that electrical box, and he was watching me. I see his eyes, his head, and then when he noticed I saw him, and he just jumped out, and he was gone. Of course, we got sonic booms. We got Mach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where they go real fast. We got hyperloop trains, electromagnetic hyperloop train. Now we got technology what they call sound barrier. where they could create a force field around the object or the person where they will be completely silent, like UFO, you know. They're called sound barrier technology, okay? Which it does, it creates an electromagnetic force field around the object or vehicle. So it eliminates sound from going out. That's how they can move completely silent, still silent, okay? Now, we got force field or electromagnetic field, you know, where they could block anything. Now we got shutdown technology where they can shut anything down. Like your weapon, when you try to trigger it won't work. Your direct energy weapon, or when you're trying to push a nuke, it's not gonna work. You know, or when you're trying to shoot your plasma from your hand, it won't work. Or laser. Okay. Now, of course, you guys know how we read telepathy and use telekinesis by this brain shit and transform Superman and download, upload information. Your eyes are cybernetic computers, you know. Okay, so this is how we're able to use telepathy, the cerebral cortex brain chip here, and this is how we're able to download, upload, use cheat codes, use CGI, the switch. This brain chip right here gives us a lot of benefits, but it's also backfire. Okay, guys. We got, you know, crypto coin, blockchain, decentralized technology. You know, they could be digital money, or your eyes is a computer, a bank, where you exchange money or information, programs, or your crypto coin. Okay, they're called blockchain decentralized technology. Okay. Now we got suspend animation where they could freeze you. You know, they could freeze you. Okay, by freezing your atom and the little electron orbiting around your atom. Okay. Now, this is all the technology and program that I'm able to think of and expand. So I'm gonna, I got 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna talk about what I have experienced. You know, I see a lot of weird things, a lot of exotic things, where they could transform the whole city to north, south, east, west. They could flip the city from west to east. They could turn the light off and on. It could be broad daylight. They could just shut the sun simulator up there. And the sun up there is not real sun. It's a giant flashlight heat lamp powered by nuclear fusion. Okay, it's called the sun simulator, and they could just turn it off like that. It will be pitch black. I experienced that, you know. They could transform the whole landscape. They could digitize anything. Okay? So, just that you guys know, anything that somebody hold, it could be a weapon, a direct energy weapon. Okay? Like pencil, keys, phone. They're a transformer or weapon. They could hold it, and it could shoot microwave at you. A pencil or key or a phone or a binocular or a sunglass. That's how you get killed in GPS. Or one time I was among Fresno, New York, and a black guy was holding a plate of food. And it was camouflaged, that food. And that screen, that force field that was blocking CGI, that food, it came down like a window. And I see the canyon, the size of a food plate, interdimensional. It came out from interdimensional and it shot me. Boom! But it freeze. This is how dangerous it is, you know? The black guy was holding a plate of food, but they CGI's in that canyon was hiding in that plate. It was hiding in interdimensional. And the screen that was CGI, it comes down like a screen, like a window. And then the canyon came out, you know, interdimensional portal right there, and bang, shot me, you know, but it freeze. This is how dangerous we have technology, guys, okay? But mainly I want to talk, I want to wrap it up about how all these pervert, rapists, molesters, how they rape and molest people. I see a black guy, mostly black guy and white people have access to this program. I see several black guys where he raped everybody, all the female at the welfare department on Kansas Canyon and Sunnyside over there. He just walked by somebody's ass very close to them, and his cock will come out his pant like a hologram, and at light speed, and it split into two. One will drove her in the ass and drove her in the pussy. Light speed, boom, boom, boom. He just walked behind her, and his penis will come out like a serpent, like a snake, and drove her in the ass and the pussy. And I don't know if she knows, but she's giggling and she's moaning. Or like he was sitting in the windows, and the social worker was on the other side of the window, and his cock just come out and go through the walls and drove her in the pussy. You know, that's how they have sex, and that's how exotic it is. And that black guy was going around in the room and raped everybody, and everybody act like they don't know nothing or they didn't see nothing, and this security guard just act like he didn't see shit. You know, we got perverts and molesters and rapists in plain sight, and they go around and rape everybody at the store, in the parks, you know, at work. They don't have to take off their pants, you know. They just walk right next to you or stand right next to you and open a portal, and they will start drilling your ass and your pussy. That's how they have sex. Or you just come out like a snake. A hologram can be like a living flesh cock. It can get very long and very big, and you just keep drilling like a drill. You know, that's how exotic our technology nowadays. One time I see a black guy. He sat right behind the Mexican girl in the bus, and his cock just come out and split into two cocks, and one drove up in her ass and one drove in her pussy, and she was moaning, and she was, you know, shaking. Where he sat behind her, and his cock just come out from his pants and go right into her pussy and her ass, you know, and start drilling her. They were having sex on the bus. You know, this is how people have sex in plain sight, guys, because these people have their exotic technology and exotic program. You know, what's been time and space. And one time, you know, like I said, I saw my neighbor right here. Somebody transformed to my neighbor and drove, you know, right next to my Mexican neighbor right here, and just fucked her, pick her up like she has no weight, and start drilling her ass and pussy. And he would just fly back his car. All it takes is 1 second. You know? Or I see my neighbor right here transform or shapeshift into a cat when the husband's not home, and go and have sex with my neighbor right here. If you see a cat or a bird comes into your house, or a mouse or any insect, because that is somebody. They're a shapeshifter. And that's how they come and have sex with your wife and daughter when you're not home or not paying attention. Okay? Or your wife will crack her little door open, or open the door or the windows, and they will shrink subatomic level and fly in there and have sex with your wife. Usually they will, you know, shape-shift into animal, insect, bird, cats, dogs, but they're not animals, they're people, okay? This is how they come and have sex with your wife or your daughter. Okay, guys? So when you see your wife prop her window open or the door open because she's letting people in to have sex with her. Okay, and they're invisible cloaking, they're shrink subatomic level, and they've been in time and space, you know. One time I see a white guy, he parked next to Panda right there on Canyon Beach, and the Hmong Panda girl, she came out, and she just bent over, and his cock, come out in the portal and start drawing her pussy in her ass. And pounding her while he was sitting in the car, and they're like right next to each other. You know, that's how exotic our program and technology is, okay? Somebody could just be standing next to you or sitting in the car, and that person will be on just not too far from where they had sex through a portal, or they were standing next to each other, and his cock will come out and start drawing her pussy in her ass, okay, guys? But they're invisible and they're at light speed. Okay, and his cock will come to life like a snake, like a serpent, and he can split into 2 or 3 or more. I see one time a guy with his cock split into 3 heads, one drilling the ass, one drilling the pussy, and one the girl was giving him BJ. So that's how exotic our technology is. How people have access, and people that are hanging out at the mall, at the parks, in the parking lot, because they're having sex, they're perverts, they're rapists and molesters. Okay, I seen where people transform into a chair. You know, like those nail salon chair. That's somebody, and the girl will go sit on there, and then his cock will come out and start drilling her pussy in the ass. Or at the mall, they will transform into a chair. and that girl will sit right there, and then his penis will come out on her ass and pussy, and that's how they have sex. We could transfer into anything: bikes, vehicles, chairs, material. We could transfer into a wall, and the girl will stand next to the wall, and we could have our penis come out and start drilling her pussy in her ass. Okay. Or they will drive into a drive-thru, and portal will open and fuck them in the ass or pussy. That's why McDonald's, In-N-Out, and a Starbucks are very busy drive-thru, because they're having sex. Okay? That's how they run human trafficking. And that's how your wife cheat on you, okay? So I just want to wrap up and tell you guys all the exotic technology and what I have seen. Okay? They didn't want me to tell you guys the truth. They didn't want the truth out, okay? The truth will set you free. So if you have anything to say, feel free to drop me in a comment, but use code so we don't get flagged by YouTube, okay? I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.